Good evening, good evening, good evening. We are back for another quick chat. Well, I don't know how quick it'll be. Let me quit lying because sometimes I'll say I'm quick and then I'm not quick. Y'all see all this hair. Honestly, I wash it and condition it today, but I still have to blow dry it and do all the things. And this is why I'm low key for the relaxer because I didn't have to have these problems. Y'all, my hair is super thick and it's right here, but we got to go figure out how to blow it out and straighten it out momentarily. I have so much hair. People always wonder why I don't wear my hair out. This is why, because it's a lot of hair. And this is not even, the shrinkage is wild, but it's so much hair. I still got a lot to do. So I got to think about my blowout time, which will govern how long I'm on here tonight. Good evening. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Toot Latrice. Hi, Finer Dove. Oh, y'all, I hate doing my hair. I hate doing hair in general, but I hate doing my hair. Hi, Savannah. Good evening. How's your Labor Day been? Hi, all the tea in China. How's your Labor Day been? Is everyone enjoying their Labor Day? It's been a nice, restful day for everyone. I hope so. Oh no, Finer Dove. I hope you feel better. A lot, y'all, sickness is really bad right now. There's a lot of people getting sick. A lot of people getting sick. I was actually sick week before last. That thing it shut me down. It literally shut me down. So you said I thought about relaxing mine today. Then I thought, listen, Kim, I'm about this close. Do you hear me? I am this close. Every time I had to blow out. Today was a wash day, so I had to wash my hair, right? And I conditioned it, but then I had to leave, so I didn't get time to blow it out. But every time I have to go through the process of blowing it out, I think about getting a relaxer. Because who has time for this? You said I just got back from Smoky Mountains, ATV riding with the crew. I love it. Oh, happy birthday to your hubby. Yo, my birthday is this month. Ah, my birthday is this month. I'm so excited. My daughter's birthday is Thursday, y'all. My baby girl will be 14. 14, y'all. I don't know what happened. It's so hard to believe. Me and her dad are in shambles. Cause she's the baby for both of us. And I just don't know. I'm like, yikes. 14. Every time I see her, she's taller. We do like 1 week on, 1 week off. And I promise you, every time she goes to her dad's for a week and she comes back, she's taller. I don't like it. But both she and I are September babies. My birthday's on the 26th of September. So there's like a 3-week gap. And then I'll be celebrating my birthday. Now, y'all know there's a boo in my life. And last year for my birthday was quite the birthday. He actually, you know what? Y'all behind on a lot of stuff because a lot of things I just don't publicize, right? Because it ain't nobody's business. But then you got people that would just be hating. But he literally, first of all, he had me meet him. I'm gonna get into the topic, but we'll chit chat, give people time to tap in. He surprised me and he gave me like instructions to meet him at a location. I didn't know where. I don't know DC very well. So I was like, fine. I met him, pulled up, y'all. It was a Popeye's chicken. And I'm like, Papa, why are we at a Popeye's chicken? You don't even eat meat, sir. He's vegan. So I'm confused about why we were at this Popeye's chicken. And yes, Sharon, the COVID numbers are horrible right now. Savannah, the Romancipation was excellent. I cannot wait to show the footage from it. It was excellent. We had such a good time. Such a great crowd. Every Romancipation, somebody flies in from out of town. And once again, our streak for people flying in out of town to attend the Romancipation is still in effect. We had a couple ladies in from New York and one from Delaware. Delaware actually drove in, but New York flew in. But it was a good time. I actually got to meet Really BTV in person, and then Shade in the City also came to the event. It was a good time, y'all. The food was excellent. DJ was great. I was happy with it. It was a great Romancipation. Romancipation is on hiatus until December, and we're doing a Romancipation Christmas party. So that's the next time that the Romancipation will be coming back. Right now, all of my focus is on the Women in Business Brunch, which is coming up in October. And we're partnering with the Northern Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce, which is a phenomenal partnership for me. I'm really working on growing my businesses, y'all, which means I got to get my butt out there, make, relationships and partnerships and connections to just grow. So that's what I've been doing. So this is a huge win for my brand and what I'm trying to build and what I'm doing. So I'm excited about that. So I'm a little bit nervous because I feel like it's going to probably double the numbers of the brunch. And, Savannah, you were at the brunch. We had a great starter number, but I got a feeling we're probably going to double that with the chamber being behind us, and they're a marketing sponsor. So I'm really pumped about it. So y'all, it's good. Things are working. I'm starting to promote my programs more and getting the word out there. For those of you that follow, ladies that could benefit from it, is empowerment type programs that are willing to invest in their growth. Encourage them to check out the Grow Her Society. And I'm just really working on building all the things. Been working on getting approved for government contracting, y'all, which is a pain process, but I am almost through the process. So I can also be building more of my consulting. I got like 3 different things I'm working on. There's the media side, there's the speaking and empowerment side, and then there's the professional side. So all 3 things are being worked right now. It's just a lot that I'm working on, but it'll all pay off, right? So back to my story at hand. So anyway, he gives me an address. He has me show up in his Popeye's chicken. It was a joke. So he literally had me drive there, and he was like, I'm going to get in the car with you, and then I'm going to give you an address. And I'm like, okay. So he gives me an address, which is actually an address to a really nice boutique hotel in the city. So we get there, and he checks me in, gets me into the room, and then there's a note for the next location. So I'm like, okay, so get the next location. It's a spot it's like a spot in DC. But when we got there, it was closed. And I'm like, this makes no sense. Well, he was like, stay right here. I have to run to use the restroom. He really didn't have to use the restroom. He was trying to make sure everything was together. So he was like, well, let's walk through here. And it was like a movie theater. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we walked through there. I'm walking through the movie theater. Y'all know how y'all see like the marquee in the movie theater? And I'm looking, and the marquee has my photo on it. And I'm so confused. So I'm looking at him like, why does the marquee have my picture? And he's grinning from ear to ear, because what it has dawned on me is that he has rented out this whole movie theater. It has my picture on the marquee. We go into the movie theater. My picture, he's created like this whole presentation is across the movie theater screen. Anyway, he rented out the whole movie theater for us to watch one of my favorite movies, just he and I. And then the next thing was like, we went to dinner. He just had all this elaborate stuff planned. And then the gifts were gifted. Okay. So every phase of this, he had like a gift. He had like a small, thoughtful gift. And then he had like a medium-sized gift. And then at the end of the night, I got the big gift. So I'm pretty pumped because he's been like scurrying around and he's like a planner and a surpriser. So I don't know what he has up his sleeve, but I know he got something up his sleeve. So we'll see what he has planned for this birthday year. But I always like to celebrate my birthday big. I'm huge on celebrating my birthday. You get one day a year. As a mom, I've taken my birthday as that time to really celebrate myself. So I don't play about celebrating my birthday. Fortunate, I'm with someone that takes celebrations seriously as well. He's very thoughtful and detailed. He was there at their emancipation this weekend. And so at the end, I actually dedicated my performance to him. And everybody was like, well, where is he? Because he moves around. He does not like the spotlight. That is not his thing. So everybody was like, where is he? So the bloggers will tell you they finally got to meet Winter's boo. And everybody's like, he's so handsome. He is. But he's such a sweetheart. He's so like attentive. He just like, let me know what you need. I'll be there to support. Great guy. God did his big one. I feel like God saved the best for last. We are in a solid, good place. You said, I will make it to the December event. I hope so. Yes, Ricky, I am. Do you still hang out with Corey? Yes, but I haven't seen Corey in forever. Everyone will tell you, Finer Dove. I honestly, once I quit the show and took a hiatus, I took a hiatus from everything. Now, y'all know we talk on the phone. That's our thing. But as far as hanging out with people, I haven't even seen Ashley like that. Everybody will tell you, Winter literally like quit and checked out. And a part of that was just regrouping because decompressing from reality TV was a lot for me. I also was dealing with health challenges. You guys know I have autoimmune disorders. Those were triggered by all the drama and trauma from reality TV. So I personally just had to take a minute to myself. Then my stylist got hit with a traumatic event. And then I lost my friend to cancer. So it was just a lot of stuff back to back. So yeah, Corey and I are still cool. But Winter has been in her bubble and life has been lifing. But on the bright side, it's like nothing bad. So I haven't hung out with people in a while. Like even a lot of my friends came to the emancipation. It's the first time they've seen me in months. I'm like a person who retreats when I'm going through a lot. I'm not going to be out and about if I'm going through a lot. I don't feel like I'm not a people in type person when I'm managing real life. So I'll see everybody soon. But Corey, first of all, Corey works like crazy. And thankfully, I don't have to go all the way to Maryland and get my hair done every other day because I ain't filming. So it's beautiful. Corey knows I hate being in a hair salon. Hate it. Me and Corey, we used to have bickering fights because I hated getting my hair done. I just don't like being in the salon for 25 hours. You said same. I feel like God wants me to be still during those times. I agree. And honestly, y'all, it's been the best for me and best for my mental health, best for me to be more present at home. Like I do a lot. I don't think people understand. I be having a lot going on. And sometimes I feel like things happen to make you just pause for a minute. You don't need to be all things to all people at all times. And honestly, you guys knew it was me, Corey, and Caressa. Caressa has been battling sickness for months now. Like Y'all, sometimes life just be lifing. Seriously. And then I've been working on trying to unbig my back because this happy weight has been happying. It's all right. I'm down 15 pounds. I'm going to be fall time fine in a little bit, but we've been too happy. So we working on unbigging our back for sure. All that to say, let's get into the matter at hand. So y'all know one of the bigger things before I get into the love of marriage Huntsville shenanigans, we gonna get there because child. I happened to catch TV Deets update to some of the ratings, and I was like, is Love of Marriage Huntsville really down that bad in the ratings? Are y'all blackouting that bad? But we're gonna get to it. First, we're gonna start with the foolery that is Cam Newton. So y'all know Cam Newton got all these kids, few baby mamas. And let me just tell you, I don't put all the responsibility on Cam Newton because a man can't make no baby without no willing vajayjay. And the way I see it is that they're both equally responsible, because if a woman is still opening her legs, she's half responsible for the baby being born. So let's just start there. Not putting all this on Cam. I guess she's the first child's mother. I think she has like 5 kids by him. 5 is wild work. She has 5 kids by him and left him because he would not marry her. And not only did he not marry her, he had a baby on her and tried to force said baby on her. As in, he wanted her to accept that he had stepped out and created this other child. I'm not judging this young lady because at the end of the day, what's done is done. These kids ain't going nowhere, right? However, it's like after 1, sure, stuff happens. 2, oopsie, cool. But sis, 3 and 4 and 5, these are conscious choices. And I feel like so often we as women convince ourselves of realities that aren't real. And I feel like because we love a man or like a man so much, we will forego our common sense and then be mad when the outcome is not what we desire. But to me, if marriage was all that important to you, why didn't you lock down your legs until he put a ring on it? A man can't force you unless he rapes you. Seriously, and I'm not trying to be foul, but you guys understand what I'm saying? So you consciously decided to still lay down with this man and procreate, knowing that in your heart of hearts, you wanted this man to make you his wife. And I think so often so many women get angry at a man who won't marry them. But if that's really important to you, then I ask, do y'all know how many times some of these ninjas out here have asked me to procreate for them? And it's an absolute no. I've never wanted to procreate outside of marriage. That was my biggest thing. And if I ever let that happen once, it definitely wasn't happening twice. True story. Not judging anybody else's story, but for me, I never wanted to be a baby mama. That's just was never a goal for me. And I honestly think you have to make a conscious decision to either be okay with that or either be okay with locking your legs down until a man is willing to honor what you want. But I don't understand being mad at a man who wouldn't wife you after knocking you up, if that was not the prerequisite for knocking you up. And it's true. Hey, faith is a substance. It's so true, Ricky. Some men seriously like making, I promise you, I've had so many men ask me to have a baby for them, but they don't want to be a husband. And it's fine. That's their choice, but I don't want to be a baby mama. And that's my choice. I don't want to. It's too hard out here. And listen, I have 4, but I have 4 with my husband, which meant when we were no longer together, I could definitely hold him accountable. Period. That's a little different to explain versus now you are out here in this world as a single mom of 5 to a man you were never married to. It's given poor decision making. And I have questions, and I'm not judging. I really would love to know, like, what was the thought process after the second, third, and fourth time you decided to lay down with this man and keep making these babies with no ring, no commitment. He didn't even propose. You weren't even a fiance. Like, and I feel like so many people have glamorized being a baby mama. Yeah, 4 years straight, she said. 4. Let me tell you, there is no amount of money. Y'all have to understand, I come from the NFL world, okay? Cam Newton, I come from the NFL world. Women do this mess all the time. They think because a man's in the NFL, he has money, I'll be fine. I can't even count on one hand, let alone 2. How many women decided to get their butts pregnant by these men in the NFL only for these men to get cut from the NFL and be dead broke? So the money that you would have got had he not gotten cut is no longer in existence. So you thought you were about to get a kid and nab you some money. Ain't no money to nab if he's broke. And if you're in a state that governs what he makes, and once he's cut, he's not getting a check, what are you basing that child support off of? 0? Being a wag is not all it's cracked up to be. It's not. I'm telling you now. Y'all want to hear a true story? Here we go. True story. You guys know I was a wag. Okay? I was a wag. And y'all know that there was infidelity in my marriage with my ex-husband. And I kid you not, one of the young ladies, I would even say both of them, thought they got knocked up. They was about to get this child support and they was about to get paid. Well, one said young lady decided to take my ex-husband to court. However, she took him to court right around the time that he had retired from the NFL. Well, once you retire, the state that we live in only counts your current income. And he had just started working in what would now be his professional occupation. He was not making that much. Furthermore, he had 4 children already. So the judge took that into account before they awarded her. I kid you not. I think she ended up being awarded nothing. She left that courtroom crying. I literally remember. But these are the hazards of buffoonery. Get a job, get an education, figure out how to make it in this world, but trapping men and trying to get finance through that way when there's a child at risk, is crazy work. She learned a real valuable lesson that ain't always what it's cracked up to be. It's not what it's cracked up to be. And I hate it. I literally hate it for her. So now you're sitting up here telling the world that the biggest mistake that was made was that he didn't want to wife you? No, ma'am. The biggest mistake you made was continuing to procreate with him when he didn't wife you after the first one or two. Because it ain't no way that I'm going to continue if you ain't put no ring on it. You dang near had barely got one. You surely wasn't going to get 2 or 3, 4 and 5. Ma'am, I need better explanation. Because I can't put it all on Cam. I know in his mind, he has the money. He thinks like Nick Cannon. They think they can just be out here procreating, putting these kids out into the world. But it's willing participants that bothers me. And I just, in my mind, it doesn't make sense to me. And I'm telling you, ladies, we have way more power than we think we do. These men can't procreate with themselves. It requires us. It really does. So at some point, you got to decide, is the money worth it? And it's not. It's really not. I'm telling you, so many of my WAG friends are divorced, struggling, single moms. It's literally not the move. And I know women do it because a lot of us are strong and we'll get it done. If that's the hand that we're having to deal with, we're going to deal with it. But it's not preferred. I tell women all the time who like to play the manipulative games with their child's father. He was good enough to make a baby with. Now you don't want him to be involved because he doesn't want you. That don't make sense. I'm not going to punish a man because he doesn't want to be with me. I happily exchange these kids week on and week off. Come get your kids. They're your kids too. And I've never had to make their father be their father. Thank God. Now I know some men ain't worth, but for the ones that try to withhold as some form of punishment, you are out your ever-loving mind. Come get your kids. If I'm with a man who wants to be involved, come get him. Absolutely. What time would you like to have them ready? I don't understand fighting over custody unless your child is in some sort of danger. But a lot of people do it out of manipulation and control. You can have these kids. You want them half the time? Absolutely. I'm not arguing with a man over half. If a man wants half, he can absolutely have half. Because that's half the time that I can work on the things I need to work on. I think for far too long, women have actually given men a way out by withholding them having 50 custody or partial. What time would you like for them to be ready? Hey, Queen G48. Shoot. Maybe I think a little differently, but I have never, as I was mad, hot as fish grease at their dad. And I had every right to be. But I was not about to play them games about trying to withhold his kids from him. Hey, what time would you like for them to be ready? I don't understand it. But she says that he's involved, so I give him kudos for that. I guess his new girlfriend is helping him. I don't know what to say about any of that. I fear for our upcoming generation. Listen, Ricky, do you hear me? What time do they need to be ready? I feel no kind of way. It used to be so sad. It took a lot to get used to. And sometimes the holidays, I don't have them. It's still hard, but still, I've learned to just figure it out. I invest in the time back into myself. You know what I mean? Now, I'll see you when you return. Now, let's go on and talk about these ratings. Oh, I agree with you. Yeah, I do. I don't agree with holding a child as a mess. That's just messy for no reason. Let's talk about these ratings, child, now. I don't know. I feel like the ratings are pretty true to form. The ratings that come in are the ratings that come in. I don't believe there's any funny business. And what's interesting to me is that a lot of people want to come for the ratings, but nobody was coming for the ratings when they was high. Y'all wasn't saying the ratings was lying in. So I don't believe the ratings are lying now. I just think that for the most part, the audience has turned to content creators for their entertainment versus actually watching the show. I could be wrong, but that's what I feel. I feel like content creators have replaced yeah, I feel like content creators have replaced people's desire to watch the show. They ain't high, Marriott. I was watching Anonymous Tea, and it didn't look too good for the home team. Hannah Grace, I agree with you. If there's abuse, obviously. Hey, Tweety. Child, I try to speak my truth and be honest as best I can. It's so funny because let me just tell you what. Can I just be, y'all, I literally I was on reality TV. You love people to, you liked it. You was on there. Let me just be clear. I thought I was going to have an opportunity to share my platform and grow my business. This had nothing to do with fame for me. There was nothing that indicated that I was going to be famous. Okay, let's start there. So it's wild to me that people will say, well, you wanted the fame too. Our show wasn't on the same status as Love and Marriage Huntsville. How was I going to be famous? I did think I would have a chance to publicize my business, but that didn't happen. How many of y'all know what I do from the show? Do y'all know what I do from the show? I'm curious. How many of y'all actually knew what I did from the show? You said those ratings are ridiculous. Do you think the show's going to last? I have a blackout this season. I can't. I don't know. I think the ratings should be a concern because that's a significant drop for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Hi, Colton. Hey, healthcare workers.
Yo. What's up?
Hi, Andrea. Hi, Girlfriend Chronicles. Bad Apple Welcome. Lynn Selders, welcome. Pumpkin, welcome. Yeah, so that's the thing. So, okay, I'm glad you brought that up. So, J2 Oka, they lied about that. So, this is what I talk about, things being fake. I wasn't even a relationship coach. It was something I hadn't done in years. But they decided to lie and run with the storyline that I was a relationship coach because it fit the narrative of I was a relationship coach who couldn't keep a relationship. They thought that was more juicy. This is what I mean. This is why I be daring people to say I'm lying, because y'all lie. I can blatantly tell you how you lied. Everyone from social media knew I wasn't a relationship coach anymore. I was knee deep in the faith-based community since 2019. So how was being on the show helping me promote what I do when you guys aren't even showcasing what I really do? So when people come over here, and all it is people that hate that sometimes I side with Melody. I peep game. Y'all get so up in arms if I say something that supports Melody or I agree with something Mel said. And it's ridiculous. I'm not going to change my stance because some things just are what they are. So you had one troll over here saying, well, you like the fame too. And you were that. No, that wasn't what it was about for me. It was pitched to me that I would have an opportunity to grow my business. But it was no business being grown. And how can I grow my business? How can I grow my business when you're not even advertising what I actually do? I can 1000% confirm that my business has made no money through my time on Love and Marriage DC. That ain't how I made my money for my business. I have never had a client that said, hey, I saw you on the show and I decided to book you. It's ridiculous. So I don't even want to hear it. And then we can't definitely be talking about me being on there for wealth. You said you got information on held your pay for 3 months. Yeah, I mean, we didn't get paid for 3 months. That's just the truth. Y'all got to put my charger on. Hold on. All right. I think we're good. I had to get my charger about to die. So it's one of those things, like, trolls wear me out because it's usually people that are just hating and they don't understand the ins and outs of reality TV. I don't know all the ins and outs of Huntsville. What I can say is they don't have the same production company as we do. So the same production company that pays us doesn't pay them. So their things may be handled differently. But what I can say for sure is what did and didn't happen during our time. Yes, Toot Latrice, thank you for pulling those numbers. I was gonna pull them as well. But yeah, it was 170 and then 270. We didn't really get an answer for that, why we weren't paid for 3 months during that period. But I do know that we all kept asking. Ciao. You said, how do you think I don't know. That should be interesting. But I'm gonna be honest. I do think that hey Sakithia. I do think that Mel is a professional. I think she's a professional. And I do think, she'll probably have some stipulations. There are things that they have to abide by. So I wouldn't be shocked to see them both at the reunion. I do my best, healthcare workers, but I'm going to be honest. It's my understanding that they are under contract to produce so many shows. So regardless of whether or not these shows are rated well or not, I think they still are able to be aired. I don't know that numbers play in it as much as we think. And that's what I was told by someone that is in the network and knows more kind of behind the scenes. So for as much as people want to boycott and stuff like that, there are legalities that kind of govern a lot of this stuff. So if there was a deal made where he or the company, the production company is contracted to put a certain amount of shows on a certain slot for X amount of years, that may be what it is. And until the years run out, there's an ability to keep putting shows in that slot or those slots. I don't know why it takes the shows so long to come back. I think a lot of it has to do with how they stagger and whether or not they want to order it. I think there's constant discussions on whether or not there are shows they want to bring back or shows they want to shelve. I think Detroit got a makeover because its first launch didn't do as well. But I do think that there's a possibility that they have been revamped to hopefully drum up more drama to make the case for continuing it. Yeah, I really think that's been what I've been told. Well, I mean, I don't listen. If there's a legal, like if there's like a no contact, but you have to think this is also work for them. So there may be an opportunity to get around that for the sake of work. He wouldn't just be contacting her to contact her. They both are showing up for work. Oh, Tweety, thank God. I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm going to put yours up here. I have been hearing this discussed. Winter, do you think they stopped this last week's show to re-edit due to the disgusting nonsense? Listen, y'all do know they can edit anything before it airs. Y'all do know this, right? They have the ability to edit anything before it airs. They can put a rush on anything and re-edit it at any given time that they choose to. So I don't want to hear of any discussion that things roll as they are. This happened to me. I've seen it happen in other situations. I explained to y'all how that reunion was re-edited. It did not happen in order. And it did not air as it was shown. Or it did not film as it was shown to y'all. So they play with editing all the time. And period. So just so y'all know, things can always be edited. As long as it hasn't aired yet, it can be edited. They keep that footage on hand for a long time. A long time, y'all. They're not getting rid of stuff. So it was things that were chopped and screwed even when ours aired, that it was like, that's not what happened. Healthcare workers, they did that to change the narrative. Hey, Designs and Decor. I do my best. But yeah, that's a question I wanted to address. I've been seeing that a lot. But yeah, they do chop and screw stuff all the time. Rain Choco, absolutely. I agree with that. I'm gonna put your comment up here too. Yeah, I think that's so important. Like, yeah, people love to argue that the camera can only show what you do, but yes, editing can absolutely change the context of situations. I'm sorry, air what I said, but air it in its entirety so it makes sense to the audience. If they actually aired what was said and done and when it was exactly said and done, then y'all wouldn't have blamed me for how I was popping off season 1. I should have done more. That's the stuff I didn't like. And they did it because, again, I was chosen to be the villain. So they had to take out certain things, put things certain places. It's like, okay. They didn't air it right at all. But I think by the end of the season, people were starting to figure out, like, no, y'all picking on this girl. It became very evident to the audience. And that's the part I don't think they counted on, was the audience peeping game and being like, now why y'all on her so bad? Now, the thing was, I told y'all about the pact that was made. I was not aware of that pact. So this is where a lot of the tension and contention came in with me and my cast, because I wasn't aware of said pact. And all they had to do was tell me, but they didn't want to tell me because, again, I was picked to be the villain, which is just, it's some slimy work, because I feel like, why would you want to do that in a situation where I'm already going through a lot? To me, it's an exploitation of what I'm going through. It's just, it's not right. And I didn't know that's what reality TV was. And like I said, I told y'all I had a plan. I was not coming back after this season, no way. And speaking of chopping and screwing stuff, they did it with this past season of Love and Marriage DC. You got people who literally came for me after Queen Sheba and was like, well, why did you go back for 2 more seasons? And I literally had to get on here on YouTube and explain to y'all, I didn't come back for 2 more seasons. I came back for 1. They split what we filmed in half. We filmed for 6 months straight. They took that 6 months and split it into 2 seasons. We didn't know they were going to do that. So for all the people like, well, why did you come back? I came back for one intent and one intent only. And that was to undo the mess they did to me season 1, which I succeeded in doing. And I wasn't coming back no more. I knew not to come back. Because you can't sit here and say that this show makes you famous. Who on these casts are famous? I'll wait. Who's famous? And you can't name Mel. Mel, you can't use Mel as an example. Name somebody else on these casts who are famous. And I'm not talking about no hometown fame. Who is famous. Who is this show made famous? I'm waiting. Y'all just drop some names. Thank you, ADR. You said define famous. Because maybe my definition of fame is different than everybody else's. I just, help me understand. Because people swear up and down that they're famous now because they were on these shows. Nobody's famous from these shows. Nobody's booked no Hollywood roles from being on these shows. I'm just, and I'm not literally trying to be a hater with it, but it's wild to me that people literally think that they are giving up something to walk away from this nonsense. You messed up your bag, or that you're on it because you're going to get fame. There's no fame to get. I'm telling y'all, I'll be better off pop locking on TikTok. I will be better pop locking on TikTok for some famousness. Okay. I literally heard somebody say they couldn't go out their house no more. They could barely leave the house. Let me quit. Y'all, being self-important is an illness. Cause what? You can barely go out the house. Mrs. Boss Chick, I would love to promote what I already had going on, but they don't show it. It's no point in promoting it if they're going to cut it. Do y'all know how many things that they cut? I shot a whole music video, y'all. That music video, I don't understand. Like, we put time and money into this stuff. Y'all, did y'all see my music video? Full-blown, full production music video that was done very well. All the things of a music video. Like, the first time in my life, I've never done a music video before. It was so neat, but a full-blown music video that was recorded, that we had to change to move the location for production, for y'all not to air it. Y'all waste people time and money. I don't think people understand. We don't get reimbursed for that. Nobody cuts you a check and says, hey, we're sorry, we're going to cut this from the scene, but here's a reimbursement. It's a waste. So fine. If you want, that type of fame, go right ahead. But then y'all wonder why some of these events and stuff be cheap looking. It's because it's coming out a lot of people's pockets. And if you ain't got money to put into events, then you in trouble. Sakithia, was your daughter in my music video? Who was your daughter? It's a lot of things that I shot that didn't make scene, and everybody else will tell you that too. It's a lot of stuff we shoot a lot. Y'all don't see a lot. You fortunate if you even make a digital release. I thought they were at least going to do a digital release with the music video, but I found out I think they cut it because I wasn't with the rapper no more. And he was in the music video. And there was a scene with, I think Sherelle was arguing with Arena back in the dressing room, but they cut out a lot of stuff with Sherelle. So they cut that. Listen, I could think of other things to do with my time. We shot that video all dadgum day. That's 10 hours, 12 hours of shooting. I could have been at home with my kids. Now, ADR, don't be ugly. Not you barely recognized him. It's what it is. Ciao. Yep. Because they were asked, could we get it on me shooting a video on the show? Anybody on that show would tell you I'm a doer. That's why the Romancipation was a whole production. Everybody will tell you that the Romancipation was not a shabby event. I don't put on shabby events. I don't like to do that. That's not something I enjoy. I plan events. It's what I do. And if my event is going to be on TV, it's not going to be trash. So the Romancipation, this is why the Romancipation was last. And it was the last event that was aired. The next event you saw after that was at the Silva's house, was the Christmas party. But the network purposely wanted to end with Romancipation because it was so well done. But I couldn't imagine putting all that effort and work into the Romancipation and them cut it. Nobody wants to do that. That's a waste of time. Y'all, these comments is popping. I'm sorry if I don't see everybody's comments. I'm not trying to ignore them, but they are popping up really quickly. You say, in my opinion, you think they cut a lot and use it for following seasons if they do not. You know what, Samantha? Completely possible. Liz, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. I do not disagree with you. It should be, because honestly, the reason why it should be studied is because you are having to really, so what I feel like Mel is gifted at, because I tell people this and I literally teach some of my clients that are looking to start their own business. A lot of people focus on mass numbers. That is not what it takes to build something. People think, oh my gosh, if I get 50,000 followers, if I get 20,000 followers, I'll be good. That's not true. What Mel is good at is building community. And once a person can effectively build community, then you can begin to monetize that community, because that community believes in you. So if they believe in you and you say, I now have a product that I need you to support, you cooking with Crisco. I call it the Gideon Army strategy. Okay, it's biblical. So if you guys have read the Bible, there's a story of Gideon's army, and he used an army of 300 to defeat a larger army, but they were successful. 300. It didn't take a lot. He didn't need a mass army to win. He literally trained an army of 300. It is true that if you can build a core of 300 as a business owner, you can literally achieve great things. If you had a core of 300 people that would consistently buy $10, $20, $50 a month from you, you do the math. That's consistently $3,000, $6,000, $15,000 a month. It's not hard, but she's good at building community. Oh, I love Brittany. Yes, she did dance with me. She was all of them were amazing. So I think that's been her talent. Yes. The Barbs, the Bayhive, the Navy, absolutely. Examples of community. The goal is to build community. Baby, I'm working on it over here. I believe my tribe is coming. We building bit by bit, but I believe my tribe is coming. But you also have to know who your people are. And you also have to know how to effectively market to your people. I tell people all the time, I'm not for everybody, but for the people I'm for, and I'm helpful, and they grow and they learn and they heal. My specific niche, women 35 and over. Now the babies love me too, but I don't find that they are my target. But I'm definitely for the women that have been through some things and say, yes, Winter, I could use your wisdom. I could use your support. Those people are willing to invest in their growth. All that to say, I just think she's really great at building community. And that's really what it takes. So learning how to take advantage of that. And Finer Dove, I think when it comes to, let me tell you, I can't speak to why she's still in her kitchen, but what I will say as a business owner, scaling has to be done intentionally and effectively. And sometimes it is not always the most economical decision to move into things like warehouses until you are sure that you can sustain it for an indefinite period of time. Because for as much as people would say, why is she still working out her kitchen? If she were to get a warehouse and couldn't sustain that warehouse and was to shut it down, people would drag her for it. So I personally feel like don't do anything prematurely and make sure you can sustain it. Now, that's the businesswoman in me. Trust me, I have literally been there, done that. It's not worth it. I would rather do small things. People will ask me like, Winter, why haven't you done this for the emancipation or that for the... I'm more comfortable with it being small because I know what's able to be maintained until I'm sure I can sustain something bigger. Because I've been there. You step and launch out into the deep and you can't sustain yourself, you're going to drown. It's not worth it all the time. So I feel like if she's still being effective from her kitchen, more power to her. Hopefully she doesn't take on anything she can't sustain. Because I think warehouses and such look glamorous until they get shut down. It ain't worth it. What did Donna D say? I'm not angry with Carlos at all. I'm just telling the truth. I think the Black community has an unhealthy attachment to truth, unhealthy attachment to people being silent. It's like our elders who just wanted us to be quiet and stick our head in the sand and act like certain things weren't occurring. It is not my responsibility to be silent and not speak my truth for the sake of sparing somebody's feelings. The truth is the truth. I have never personally attacked him. I've never said that he's personally done anything to me. But I'm not obligated to silence or maintain my silence for the sake of what? It doesn't make sense. And for me, I think if my truth is offensive, then you can always buy earplugs. Nobody's asking you to hear my truth. I know that I purposely showed up every single day to do my job. I was never problematic. Even production will tell you that. I was one of the least problematic. That I know for sure. But I'm allowed to share my experience. If that experience is offensive, I'm not sorry. I don't know what to tell you. To offend is not my intent. But the truth is offensive sometimes, and that's just what it is. I'm not apologetic for it because it is my truth. I lived it. Nobody can take that experience from me. If the experience was good, guess what? I would have walked away and been like, oh my gosh, it was an amazing experience. It was just my time to go. I'm not a person that's going to sit here and make up stuff for the sake of entertainment either. So if my experience was really amazing during that entire time, that's what I would have told y'all. I just would have said, I'm ready to go. But that was not my experience. It was toxic. My family hated me being on it. My friends were like, girl, you can do better than this. Every time I would go out, people was confused. I've had strangers come up to me and tell me I was better than the show. That's saying a lot. I've never had a fan come up to me and be rude. I feel no kind of way. Y'all act like we talk to these people all the time. We didn't talk to these people all the time anyway. Look at this. I was shocked you was up there. A lot of people were. Shoot. It is ridiculous. Oh, Kevin, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know, I saw DJ Richie Sky recently, at an event, and a couple of my former cast members were there. And I don't speak to them, but I wasn't going to go there and act a fool about it either. I was asked to be there as a local celebrity. I showed up. I came with my boo. Wasn't that gonna go down on his watch? I knew that. I showed up. I watched the movie and we went home. But Richie literally messaged me and was like, Winter, I appreciate you for always being a class act. Say less, Richie. Literally, who has time to clown? Because at the end of the day, at some point, y'all won't even remember these shows. Let's be clear. This is not a part of our legacy. It's not. At some point, y'all will not remember this. So I'm not going to do things that will damage what will be a part of my legacy. How I treat people, how I show up for people, that stuff is what really matters. I legitimately am building businesses outside of the show. I don't have time to engage in the foolishness that is reality TV. And that's really what it is a lot of times. I have heard people say things about certain people on these casts. They're nasty to folks. They're loud. They're rude. That stuff, I don't care. At some point, people are going to separate you from the show, and we're going to understand that that's just who you are as a person, which is nasty. So I appreciate that, Kevin. I am just trying to stay in my lane. And I also am trying to provide a little bit of context and education from being behind the scenes of reality TV. I understand from an audience perspective, you guys don't always get the full context and understanding of what you guys are really watching. Therefore, when things play out on social media, y'all are navigating real time what you're witnessing on social media versus what you're watching on the show. And then you're intersecting real life too. And I think that's confusing for our audience. You guys aren't always aware of what's real and what's not real. So I hope that by the time that I spend recapping some of these shows or providing my feedback and commentary and behind the scenes explanation, that you guys watch these shows with greater enlightenment, but also with greater understanding. So some of y'all don't get so emotionally involved when some of this stuff is manufactured. Like literally manufactured. Some of the fights, some of the arguments, it don't even be real. And sometimes you can tell stuff that's like hype for camera, because some people borderline have a little smirk on their face and break character. CDW, I do not. I told y'all, I never really saw this how y'all know that stuff don't be real all the time. Like I literally didn't see my cast. I don't live by them. I stay at least an hour or so away from everybody. An hour or two. So it's hard for me to just show up on screen and pretend that I'm all chummy with everybody, but I don't know these people. They're not my friends. I don't hang out with these folks. I see them socially. We may all cross each other's paths at events, but that stuff be fake too. Do y'all not understand that all the stuff, like literally they intentionally start hanging out leading up to a season so y'all believe that they are friends? Like they start intentionally posing and then leaking photos to the blogs. I know for a fact there are cast members who contact bloggers to drop a photo of them. I have never done that. I have never contacted a blogger and told them to leak anything. Yet there are people that do this on reality TV. Hey, drop this photo. Hey, shot me out. Hey, drop this, or hey, post this, or our show is coming out, post it. It's wild. You said I'm right about the smirk and Pacino. I know. Child. It's wild. So I try to give balance. Y'all watch it. Like I said, watch it for entertainment, but don't get your feelings too deep down. You just be stressed out for no reason. That is why one episode, absolutely, Girlfriend Chronicles, absolutely. The hop, skip, and a jump. Not about everybody being criminals. To me, the only thing I could say about that is that there's no way that I would want to be on TV if I knew I had a criminal record. Because the bloggers dig too much. And I wouldn't want them digging up my criminal record for the world to see. Y'all be on some police records. So that's my thing. Like, I just wouldn't want to be on TV with a police record. I think I would go sit down. Real talk. Yeah, Pacino, the bloggers do run with it, but a part of that, it fuels kind of the interest in the show. It all works together. This is why I didn't understand the striking of the channels, because you don't strike people that are helping drive interest in your show. I honestly think a lot of the striking battles is what lent to a lot of the fans checking out, because these bloggers and these channels, they have large communities of support too. You don't start pissing off the people that drive interest in watching your show. I think we forget that that was happening around about the time all of this blackout and all this stuff was happening around the same time. There was blackouts, there was lawsuits, there was striking of the channels. I think this has lent to the decline in the ratings. All of that stuff has an effect and impact after a while. You can't bite the hand that feeds you. And at the end of the day, yeah, some people may already get their check, but if you don't have an audience that's willing to support and watch, that's going to be short-lived. What good is a show being on if ain't nobody watching it? Because you keep pissing them off. Hey, cutie pie. I just think you have to respect your audience too. And don't insult the intelligence of your audience. It's only for so long people are going to allow for you to play in their face. And I honestly just think that people are tired of having their face played in. And for as much as you guys demand, reality, I think a lot of y'all are waking up to the fact that reality TV has some fakeness to it and some pretend. You said, so who and where are the human resources located? Ain't none. There's no such thing as human resources. We don't have a human resources. Not you ain't popping if you ain't never been sued. God forbid. I don't want to be popping then. It's just wild. All right, y'all. I hope y'all like the video before you go. I gotta go tackle my hair. I looked at the time. I'm like, it's almost 10, y'all. I've been on here for almost an hour and a half. And I really gotta do my hair. I got a lot of hair to try to blow out and straighten. And it's just gonna take me some time. So I love y'all. I'm actually gonna go live tomorrow. Probably around lunchtime. I got some work to do in the morning, but around lunchtime I'll go live and we'll to be continued. This has been a great conversation. You guys are amazing. We are not a part of a union in reality TV. This is what Bethany Frankel was talking about establishing. I do think it would be very helpful for reality TV to have a union to help govern and manage some of the things that could happen. But I love y'all's support. I appreciate y'all. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome to the channel. For those that are IC Insiders, I always want to shout out my IC Insider members. I'm actually doing a special live for you guys this week. I owe you guys a special live. So IC Insiders, if you are an IC Insider member of this channel, we're going to do a special live this week. But if you're not, consider becoming an IC Insider member. If you haven't checked out my programs, go to Grow Her Society. The link is in the description. If you are a woman over 35 looking for some growth, empowerment, and support on your journey, I would love to have you in the Grow Her Society. There's several programs available that you can enroll for. If you don't need it, share it with someone who could possibly need it. There are payment plans available because we know times is rough and tough, honey. So you are able to pay it out. I do offer one-to-ones, not for a lot of people, only for a handful. So once them slots is gone, they are gone. But if you would like to work with me one-on-one, if you are a professional, a woman in business, a woman of faith, and need a support on your journey, please sign up for a one-to-one. Payment plans are available for that as well. I think that's all. I think that's it. I love y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Have a good night.